Welcome to Athens, Greece. Athens has a population of just under 4 million people, which is about 1 in 3 Greeks. We got an Airbnb for 5 nights in the city and brought the cameras along to give you a taste of Athens. Athens has been continuously inhabited for more than 5,000 years and really rose to prominence in about 900 BC, and in 500 BC introduced the world to democracy.
From Athens! It's the first time we're filming again, I think, right?
Yeah.
We took a little break.
So today, big day, we're gonna go to the Acropolis and the Acropolis Museum, have lunch somewhere with a view of the Acropolis. We've been hanging out a couple days, haven't really filmed, but now we are for you guys. A little loud here, but that's the Temple of Zeus and Hadrian's Gate right there, so it's real close to our Airbnb.
We have a nice Airbnb too. Yeah.
Short walk anywhere, really. We will give you a tour of our Airbnb in the next video, along with the costs associated with that and the travel to Greece. So right up on the hill there is the Acropolis, like less than 10 minutes, 5-minute walk from our hotel, our Airbnb.
And we have a jacuzzi.
Before a long day of touring, it was time for some breakfast.
What do you do?
She farted.
Oh, great.
Now he can't use this video. Come on.
Stephanie had to go to Starbucks and get her Go Juice this morning. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This is the Acropolis. It came to prominence in 500 BC, although it dates back to the Bronze Age. The Parthenon is the temple on top that was largely destroyed by Venetian bombardment in 1687. It was $20 a person, and if you're under 25, it's half price, $10 a person. If you're under 25 and from Europe, it's free. And they make me take my microphone off, so the audio may suck. I'm not really sure why they do that, but sorry. It's amazing that most of this was built like 500 or 600 BC. So can you imagine being from a little village and you live in like a mud or stone hut, and then you come here and you see this? Like, wow. There are 2 amphitheaters around the Acropolis. This is the Theater of Dionysus. So considered the birthplace of theater. Theater of Dionysus here, pretty amazing. It was built in around the 5th century BC and operated until the 6th century AD, when it was just kind of dismantled and destroyed. So up here is still considered part of the theater. I mean, there'd be still seating up here. So it's naturally defended by all the cliffs there, but then you add the stone works on top of that. I mean, it was pretty much, you couldn't, I'm sure you could eventually climb it, but not with people firing arrows and dropping rocks down on you. So pretty good defensible spot, because there's only one way in. I can't imagine how impressive like all of this would have looked when all the columns and everything looked, pristine and white and clean like that. And the facades were still on them and everything. It must have been just amazing. So this one, you can see they actually have restored it quite a bit, and they have real performances here. We're setting up for one now. So this is the only path walking up. I can imagine an army trying to attack this. You couldn't do it. What?
Stone. Imagine carrying all the stone.
Yeah.
Brick and.
Well, imagine trying to attack this place, and you're attacking from up there, and they're throwing rocks down on you and arrows and stuff. You're not happening. So these are the gates into the city. You can tell how crowded it would be trying to get in. It's the only way in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why it's such a well-defended place. You ready to wander through the giant crowd?
Oh, can't wait.
Imagine what it must have been like walking through these gates when they were all like white and pristine, and like the facades were all in good shape and everything. It would have been pretty amazing. It really is sad that the Parthenon made it through such a long time intact, only to be bombarded by the Venetians in 1687 and the Ottomans in the 1820s. The modern restoration efforts of the Acropolis began in 1975. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Restoring it, they got a catalog where each stone came from, piece them all together.
puzzle. Giant puzzle.
All these piles of rocks know where they gotta go. Stone, whatever.
To stay alive. Come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, Come on over, we can make it through.
So what did you guys think of the Acropolis?
So impressive. I really like the pillars that are held by different people. It's like it gives you a feeling of togetherness.
This is my second time, and I see the work they put in it every year. Like it's the restoration and stuff is beautiful. It's amazing. If you're here, you have to come. It's so cheap. It's so beautiful.
It's cool. It was.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's like cool to see how they lived back then and seeing like you know, just how much work they put into building this. Like, I can't imagine like how the state of our atmosphere of probably how it was back then.
Yeah, a lot of slavery, unfortunately.
Yeah, well.
Bravo! Sit-down! Sit-down!
Someone's mad about a parking ticket.
Uh-oh, watch out.
I'm like in New York again.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So right down the hill from the Acropolis is all the cafes and restaurants, so we're gonna find a place to drink, cool off a little bit, rest a little bit, and then we're gonna head right here, which is the Acropolis Museum. Unfortunately, they don't allow cameras inside most of the museum, so I won't be able to film much of it, but I can film some of it.
As we look up at the stars in the sky.
Alright guys, half the day already.
Half the day, success. Not the best Bloody Mary I've had. I do have to say Americans make the best Bloody Marys.
Okay, so now we are headed to the Acropolis Museum. You entered right here. It's just a 2-minute walk from where we just were having a drink. And unfortunately, not much of the museum is allowed for cameras, so I'll show you guys some as much as I can, but I'm gonna have to put you away a little bit. So underneath the museum, they found like an old village down here. So kind of thing is they find something antiquity you can't like build over it. I mean, you can build over it, but you can't disturb it. So they built the museum up above ground on pillars over this, and we'll go down. I know I can show you that part, but the inside part, I don't think I can. Construction of the museum began in 2004 and opened to the public in 2009. Cameras are only allowed in the entrance and on the upper floors. On the main floor, they're not allowed. So on the main floor, where you're not allowed to film, just a bunch of statues and kind of some history about the place. Kind of interesting stuff. It's worth a look. It's worth the 10 euros to get in for sure. This is the top floor where they have the wall murals and stuff like that. And then we'll go down to the very bottom and show you the old city they found, the old ruins. They built the museum on top of an old excavation site. So you can see the pillars where they just built this entire museum over the ruins of this village or town, area of town or below the Acropolis.
Sunglasses are in there.
So we dropped their sunglasses down there. But you know, you just get a sense of how small the houses really were back then, unless you were super wealthy. And then, you know, because the rooms are all pretty small in there, and they're all really close together. So they began excavating this whole thing in '97. That's when they found it, and then a lot of the stuff that you saw at the museum came from in here. Then they refilled it all with like gravel and sand, and then they built the museum above it, and then they re-excavated it again, like getting rid of all the stuff they put in there to protect all the stuff. Pretty interesting. It only opened in 2019. I guess I was here in summer of 2019. It was right after it opened. Okay, interesting day, seeing a lot of history. I think it's now time for some cold adult beverages and some food. So we'll find a cafe and do exactly that. So as we're logging along here, this is Hadrian's library. I believe he was Roman that came in and conquered, I'm not sure, like 100 AD or something like that. And he built a lot of stuff here, actually. He built a lot of things.
Good eat it, chips.
Cheers, guys.
Somebody told us on the channel, Yamas.
Yamas.
Yamas. Thank you.
Hot tub. Wanna take it?
Yamas. Please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. We're trying to relaunch this channel and your subscription would really help with the momentum on that. And you'll be notified when we post our next video.